The following program is rated D for dumb.
Hello, everybody. Dave Canyon here. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. This podcast is, in fact, rated D for dumb. Dumbing It Down. Subtitle of this podcast is also Pragmatism, Truth, Happiness, and the Search for It All. I think this is episode like 296 or something like that. Yep, in fact, it is, 296. I appreciate you guys. It is April 14th. It is 12:14 p.m. It is a Wednesday. It is a mostly, we'll do a quick weather report here, and then we'll do a mileage report. It is a mostly, I don't know. I'm just leaving Saugerties, getting on the New York State Thruway, northbound, where I record my podcast to and from work during my commute. I record this podcast during my commute so you can enjoy it during your commute. Or when you're walking your dog, or when you're going in for an ultrasound, or when you're on your way back from a funeral, or let's say you're on your way to a race riot, or the food pantry, or, getting your COVID shot. There's really no bad time to listen to Dumbing It Down with Dave. I don't know if there's actually good times, except all the time, as far as I'm concerned. But, I'm a little biased. Anyway, the weather is, I'm going to say it's a sunny day. I'm going to say it's a sunny day because there are clouds in the sky. But they're beautiful white puffy clouds, and they seem to be giving off sunlight as well as absorbing it or whatever. So, in other words, if I went outside today and I was going to play outdoors, would I have a little suntan lotion on me? Yeah. What is the UV index? I don't know. I'm just learning about UV index the last couple of days here, using the Weather Channel app and all that. Anyway, I'm trying to stay focused today. It's really important that I stay focused because to me this is, and I might have said this before 100 times, that this is an important podcast for me. The next 4 are very important. 296, 297, 5. This is number 296, working my way up to 300. There's a lot of decisions I have to make in life. Do I have to make them? No, I'd like to make them. Let's be clear. I've been talking about that a lot lately, about the end of my podcast, the end of its run, the end of Dumbing It Down with Dave, the end of my involvement possibly in media. I don't know. I just really don't know. Some of you have written to me, things like this is sad. I go, yes, I know, thank you. Although, when I see that in print, especially on Facebook, I go, I don't think it's that sad. I don't think it's sad at all. It all depends why, to a certain extent. It all depends on who's saying it and who's believing it, And believe me, folks, when I do these podcasts, I don't doubt for 1 second that I don't have a former depleter in my... No, he's a current depleter, so he's a former friend. But I don't have a current depleter in my brain going, Dave, you think these things... You're thinking too much. You're thinking too much about it. You're thinking too deeply into it. You're just putting too much into this. Oh, I know that. Thank you. I appreciate all that. So, by the way, so the weather's really beautiful. And let's do the mileage report. In this 2008 Kia Rio LX. It's the LX version. For those of you that just bought the 2008 Kia Rio, I have the LX. What does that mean? I don't know. Extra lean, XL, maybe it should have been XL, but they didn't want to confuse that with extra large, which, by the way, I am still an extra large. And maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about that today. I have a feeling we're not going to get to it. So, the weather report, I said, is sunny. I think it's in its 60s today. I think so. I think we actually have some snow coming on the 15th of April, I think they were saying, in the higher elevations here in upstate New York. But I still feel this is one of the nicest places to live, one of the safest places to live, so on and so forth. I've talked about it so much in this podcast, yet New York has done nothing for me podcast related. But they have done something for me as far as state related. They've had some of the most corrupt governors, corrupt legislatures, and high taxes. Most of these things really have no effect on me, as do most things not have an effect on me. For those of you who have been listening to the last 295 episodes, you know that about me. I say that all the time. These things happen in the world that I know about, and there's things that happen in the world that I don't know about. And yet, my life goes on the same. The same in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. I've been an adult legally since what, 18 or 21? Let's just pick 18. In the Jewish religion, I'm a man since 13. I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to buy into that for the sake of this podcast. I'm going to say since 18. So I've been an adult for 39 years. And I've also been an evolving adult for the last 39 years. And I have made a lifetime's worth, of course, and more of mistakes in my life. I've made enough mistakes for more than one lifetime. How do you quantify that? I don't. It's just something you say. It's something I say. Dave Canyon, we'll do the mileage report here in a second. I'm just going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Dave Canyon, if nothing else, admits to his stupidity. Dave Canyon, if nothing else, admits to his ignorance, to his lack of knowledge. I've admitted to the extent of my everything, all my faults. And I accept you for your faults. I have admitted many, many, many things on this show. Some things I keep to myself. I have to be honest about that too. Not everything is for podcast consumption. And I listen to a lot of other podcasts. And I listen to a lot of other podcasters. And there's no doubt in my mind that I have encountered a great amount of hypocrisy. Not because they do or do not listen to my podcast, but because of the things they say and don't say, the things they do and don't do. And yet I listen to them and I go, well, if you're saying this, right? So what's good for the goose is good for the goose. That hasn't exactly worked out the last couple of days. Mostly this morning. But really, it has been working out for a long time. For me and certain select people. None of you, by the way, for the most part. Because I know the person who I'm talking about does not listen to my podcast, has never listened to my podcast, has never supported my podcast, never commented on my podcast, yet I could show you evidence over and over and over again how supportive I am of this person. But don't worry, it's none of you. Because you do listen. You have listened. You've clicked like. You've commented. You've shared. You've done what you could on Facebook. You've done what you could on Twitter. You don't agree with me politically all the time. And for those that do agree, you will agree with me to a certain extent. And that is the beauty of this podcast. And frankly, the beauty of me. It is dumbing it down with Dave. It's not dumbing it down with you. It's dumbing it down with Dave. And yes, I have given myself credit when nobody else will. Well, yeah. Who else? How long do I wait for credit? You got to toot your own horn sometimes. So anyway, mileage report. Let's do that. 2008 Kia Rio LX. I'm assuming this is the luxury version of the Kia Rio. I don't know. I am now driving northbound the New York State Thruway, about to get off at the Catskill exit to do the loop-de-loop. For those of you that don't know what the loop-de-loop is, you're going to have to go back in time and listen to that podcast. I don't remember which number it is. If you remember which number it is, post it in the comments if you don't mind. Hey, Dave, it was actually like a 5-part trilogy that you did explaining the loop-de-loop. But I'm in Catskill and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it as I'm speaking. A loop-de-loop with my Kia Rio. The mileage report on my 2008 Kia Rio on this beautiful April 14th on a sunny, sunny day. And there's a lot more to the sunny, sunny day, by the way, than just being a sunny day. It's a very difficult day for me because I have a lot on my mind. And I'm just coming off basically a 10-day vacation. La vacación. And it was a fantastic vacation. I didn't go anywhere, really, and I didn't do much, really, but I really have come to some realizations, and I traveled down some spiritual roads, and I'm not done yet. I'm not at the end of the road. and I'm not done. I'm not finished with my spiritual realizations, and whatever it is, conclusion I'm either driving myself to or being driven to. I really don't know. I'm still open-minded to the possibilities of all things in life, much more than I could say for some people who I've dealt with in the last day or two, mostly this morning. Mileage report on the 2008 Kia Rio LX is, I don't have a drum roll yet. We're working on it. Dave, how hard is it to get a drum roll? Yeah, I know. Have you been listening to the last 290 episodes? Everything is difficult for me. Why, Dave? Why can't you? You're 57 years old. I hear podcasts all the time. They got birds chirping, water falling, clocks ticking, alarms going off, fart sounds, dog sounds, cat sounds, every sound in the world. You can't get a timpani? You can't get a drum roll? Yeah, I don't know. It didn't work out for me. What can I say? Mileage report number 2008 Kia Rio LX is 294,587 miles. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Linda Irwin from Awesome Insanity Surfers, and Tom and Paul Off the Wall. Tom and Paul Off the Wall, I think some new episodes are out, or at least one new episode. No, there's a whole. If you haven't listened to any of them, then they're all new to you. And of course, Awesome Insanity Surfers is still out there in Spreaker land and other lands as well. So check your local podcast platform for Awesome Insanity Surfers and for Tom and Paul Off the Wall. Thank you, Linda, for that. That was a lot of fun to play that. Jerry Lewis Muscular Dystrophy Telethon celebration noise, music, whatever, at the end of his totes. He would do, Ed, Ed would say, Jerry, are you ready? We have a tote. And Jerry would go ahead. He would probably talk for about 10 minutes like I do. And then they would reveal the new number, the national number, and then the music and the band would just be band right on cue. The real live band, not a recorded band, which is amazing that they did that year after year. They had a live band. That can't be cheap. I don't know. Maybe those guys work for free. And by the way, that really speaks to a time. And I've spoken about that back in the day. I mean, about episodes. I've had episodes where I've spoken about back in the day. Things that are missing from back in the day that I think were bits and pieces of glue that kept us together, as divided as we thought we were. I think the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon was one of those annual events that kind of brought this country together. Not everybody, but a lot of people. It was a good feeling. It was a good Labor Day telethon. Black people, white people, Chinese people, all people. Anyway, there's no requirement to watching it on TV. You just had to turn it on. Have a TV, turn it on, you can watch it. What was it, 23 and a half hours or something like that? Okay, anyway, we got to get to it, right? We got to get to it. So let's get to it. Well, I might not get to it, but let me say this. And this is part of it. So don't think, oh, Dave, don't go down a tangent. Just get to it. So I was on vacation this week. And 10 days. So today is Wednesday the 14th. I think it was the 5th, like the morning of the 5th, I think it was, or the 6th. It was a Sunday morning. I came home from work. Saturday night. So not this past Saturday, which would be like the 11th or something like that. Yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, or the 10th. Whatever. The Saturday before. I was off for 10 days. I had a huge list, a definitive list that I made up with my wife of things to do. Came out to about 70 items that I wrote down. It was way more than 70 items, but I wrote down 70. And it was kind of divided between things that I could do, like now, today, and then a wish list, which is mostly all my podcast stuff, which we didn't get to almost any of that. And there was another list of things. All I have to do is go on Amazon and start ordering. And we ordered some of the things, not all the things, and I can't explain to you how it looks, what it looks like, and how time goes by. Most of you human beings, I'm going to assume, so you know all about time, how time has a way of getting away from you, and this comes up and that comes up, and some days you have more energy than other days. But I spend pretty much every day of my vacation with my wife, a computer, a phone, the list, and then I would modify that list for that day. So I would take certain items off the master list and I put it on a smaller today list. And things were really getting done. We got a lot done. I am quite, at this point, he said, Dave, are you satisfied with what you got done in your vacation? I'm going to say yes for now. But Dave, no, that's not the answer. Yes or no? No, I'm not going to be pigeonholed, or that's not even the phrase. I'm not going to be cornered into making an answer. I'm as satisfied as I need to be for now. I would have liked to have gotten more done. So, yes, in a way, I am dissatisfied with the progress we made, my wife and I together during this vacation. But I would like to focus more on the positive, so I'm going to say I am satisfied. I'm satisfied enough, and for now. Ugh, man. Am I over-explaining it? Anyway. And yeah, there are changes in our life. In fact, right now, I just left my house. There's a guy with a backhoe, there's an electrician, and a bunch of electrician mates, and they're digging a trench, and they're rewiring my house. And sometime in the next week or so, or maybe the end of today, or I don't know when it's going to happen officially, but I will have 200 amp service in my house, up from 80 amps. Wow, Dave, that's so exciting. So we're 16 minutes into this podcast, almost 17 minutes, and that's your news? That you have an electrician at your house and you're going from 80 amps to 200 amps? No, that's not the news. I am just slowly getting to it. But Dave, every time you say you're slowly getting to it, you never get to it. And then you say there's going to be a part 2, and then before you know it, who knows? You do a part 2, you don't do a part 2. We're really kind of tired of this. That's why we don't comment anymore, and that's why we don't listen. Yeah, I know. A lot of you have dropped off. I get it. I see it in the comments. I know what's going on. You don't agree with me politically. You don't care. It's hard to really maintain interest of people over the long period of time. It's fine. There's something I can do about it. So anyway, I'm in a good way. And I am in a good way, basically. Basically, I'm in a good way. Can I make an argument for I'm not in a good way? Yeah, I guess I could. Right? You could too. How's things going? At all of you. How's things going? I bet you can tell me one thing that's going well. And I can bet you can tell me one thing that's not going well. And I bet you we can all make a list of things that are going well and not well. So, in the world, it's the same way. Everything is going well and everything is not going well. It's going better for certain people. It's going worse for other people. This is the way it is. This is the way it's been. And this will probably be the way it always will be. Better for others, worse for others. Better for some, worse for some. Good for some, good for others. Bad for some, bad for others. Every team that wins is a team that loses. Very rarely, well, in certain sports there is a draw. I think hockey, they might have gotten rid of it or something. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. It's very hard to have everybody content. Everybody's all together. That really is almost neither here or there for anything I want to talk about. But maybe it is. I'm hoping that it's all somehow a part of everything. By the way, everything is in fact connected. Everything is connected. So, somebody I know posts something on Facebook. A fellow podcaster. A fellow podcaster who I tried really hard, not really hard, like, Dave, did you sweat? Did you buy gifts? What do you mean really hard? See, that's what I'm talking about also. I mentioned that a couple episodes. The words that we use are important. They describe so much. So when I say to you really hard, I tried really hard to be friends, I don't know what you're thinking that means. And you don't know what I'm thinking it means. I made a sound, I don't even know what that means, a sound and reasonable, polite, and friendly gesture, parenthesis S, close parenthesis, gestures, movements, words, encounters with this person and this person's group. Hi, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Good morning, blah, blah, blah. Heard your show, blah, blah, blah. Commented, shared, by the way. Shared in Dumbing It Down with Dave. I don't share a lot. I would like to share more in Dumbing It Down with Dave, but I just don't have a program for it. And that speaks to something else that's going on in my life. Whether it's my procrastination or my inability to see the big picture properly or my comprehension issues, I have issues. I think I explained that somewhat or admitted to it at the beginning of this episode. I am not a perfect being. And neither are any of you. And neither is anyone. But when I say to you certain things that are polite and friendly, I do expect reciprocation. I do. You might not. I do. And when it isn't so simple as hello, how are you, good morning, good night, great show, good show, or participating in your thing, taking time out of my day, my life, my busy life, my agenda, whatever that may be, it doesn't really matter. And I take a break and I say to myself, I'm going to participate in your life, in your thing. Not because I really want to, because I'd like to. And I'm kind of curious. So I peek in, because you have created this club. You have created a show, a podcast, a thing, whatever that thing is, because it's not always a podcast. And I come in, I go, hey, how you doing? Oh, you're welcoming me? Oh, good. I like to be welcomed. By the way, you're welcome to my thing too. But I don't always just do it for the reciprocation. Mind you, I don't do it for the reciprocation. I do it because that's the way Dave Canyon is. That's just me. I'm friendly. You're not really coming across as friendly right now. No, because I'm a little upset and I'm burnt. I've been burnt. I'm going to live. I'm going to live well. I'm going to live as well as I want to be. But it does hurt my feelings. I don't like it when people hurt my feelings. And I don't like it when people hurt my feelings and don't care. Because their agenda is so great. Their agenda is so important. And I'm not saying that to be sarcastic, and I'm not minimalizing it. But they can't stop for 1 second and say, you know what, Dave? You're right. I think I could have done better here. I'm a little wrong. I'm not a lot of wrong. I am wrong enough. That's all I'm asking for. Can you just acknowledge you're wrong enough? That's all. Really? Is that hard? It's really hard? Because not only are you a man, but you have this political agenda behind you, and you can't just say, you can't just take a breath? You know, I'm going to review this, and I'm going to see what I wrote. I'm going to see what Dave wrote, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not always about the agenda. Maybe it isn't always about the agenda. Maybe I'm a little tainted, and maybe I'm a little bit too upset, and maybe I shouldn't have butted in. Maybe I should have just said, hey, Dave, thank you, got it, I hear you. And maybe Facebook isn't the perfect platform to have this conversation of back and forth. I appreciate you commenting. I appreciate you paying attention and validating my words. Thank you, Dave. I don't have to agree with you, Dave, but I appreciate what little time you have. And I appreciate you taking that little time to stop in your tracks and go, look what this person wrote. Let me comment on Facebook. And I said to myself, no. It's a hotbed. It's a stick of dynamite. It's a trap. You're going to think that you're going to be Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Friendly, and it's going to go totally off the rails. No, Dave, don't do it. Do it because if you don't engage, you'll never know. Maybe this will be the comment that changes it all. Not really. I never believed that for a second. I'm just saying, in the world of possibility, what I'm writing could possibly change it all. Hey, man, I hear you. I'm saying this, and I feel for you. Let me ask you a question. So, let me see. I think I have it queued up. I don't. No, I had it queued up and then it went away. Let me re-queue it up. And then you guys can decide. I'm probably not going to be able to read it all, but let me just... And I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent. So this person wrote, in regards to a shooting that happened, and by the way, I was on vacation. A lot of things happened on my vacation. I'm not going to stop my... okay, so I'm probably not going to get to this post. Let me talk about this, and then I'll do a part 2. Okay? I don't even know what I'm going to call this show. I can't even ask you for suggestions, because by the time it's posted, you'll already seen it. But when I'm on vacation, it's when you are on vacation, when anybody in the world is on vacation, it is okay for you to not pay attention to the current events of your local locality, whatever, your national or international. Just assume that every day the SH exclamation point T is hitting the fan. Every day people are miserable. All over the world. They've been miserable forever. They will continue to be miserable. Bad things will happen all the time. Every day. Not specific to you, to your neighborhood, to your creed, to your race, to anything like that. To everybody all the time. Getting a little angry there, Dave. Yeah, I know. You're blowing up people's eardrums. They don't like when you yell. People are shutting it off just because you're yelling. Okay, I'm sorry. They really want to get you. They want you to get to the point. But you're going to spend a half hour. It's going to sound like a half-hour icebreaker. No, this is it. This is the show. It's okay for everybody to go on vacation and not give a damn. Because you worked hard for that vacation. I'm assuming you do. I did. I worked damn hard for my vacation. And I don't put on the news every day so I can be depressed. I got a wife. 30 years of marriage. I got a to-do list. I already have a job that's overwhelming enough. I can't wait to quit this stupid job that pays me a lot of money. Gotta be grateful. Gotta be grateful. I love it. I love this truck driving. I'm on my way to my job right now. This Friday, a big fat check. It's going to be deposited in my bank for this almost high school graduate dropout. Almost dropped out. Almost didn't graduate. Big money for a dummy.
Time is running out.
I know.
Don't go over.
I won't.
It disrupts everything.
I know. I'm not. It's going to be
How
fine.
much time do you have
About
left?
20 seconds. I'll talk to you later.
Are you wearing your glasses?
No, I have sunglasses on, but they're on my head. I have that look now. I'm that guy. It's okay to not pay attention. It's okay that I don't know the names of everybody who's been shot over the last 6 days, 6 months, 6 years. I don't have it all memorized. I got my own problems. So do you. Everybody's got personal issues and problems. Not everybody's 100% tuned in. Oh, tuned in. I got to be tuned in to you. Are you tuned in to me? What's good for the goose is good for the goose. You got to calm down on your rhetoric. Calm down on your BS. I feel for you. I'm trying to. But you're making it really, really hard on me.
If you are enjoying these shows, please like and subscribe. Also, share them with your social media. Feel free to comment in the Spreaker chat box or call the Dumbline at 347-746-3862. Please keep your messages to 60 seconds or less and keep them clean. No profanity. Keep listening and engage. Do it because I asked you to. This is the Raven out.
Part 2 coming. I don't know when. Thanks, guys.